I am DM Zone. This is Neighbors Oasis. We're going to use the maze hammer one more time. Okay guys, so this is another one of these hunts with the maze hammer. It's to kind of balance out the Bukin, checking to see if maybe the melee is a better way to go than going with an adjusted Bukin. Now, it's kind of a long game thing, you know. The problem with the maze hammer is that it only has 5 PED. The benefit of the Bukin is that it can use ammo. It may be only 10.5 PED, but it uses ammo, which means that it can last an extremely long time before I have to go and get repaired. Whereas this, every time I turn around, you know, I have to go repair this thing. So this isn't really the weapon for a long game, but what this would maybe do is this would allow me to step into a weapon that actually would be. As you can see, I keep finding fruit and stone out here, which is nice. Anyways, to be able to get to a melee weapon that is actually uses ammo and is worth doing this way, and then that could be it. And then find another piece of fruit. So this hunt in particular is pretty productive for finding fruit. Sometimes when you're out there hunting, if no one else is hunting in particular, you will find fruit. Also, if you're melee, you often step into areas where people don't go, so you tend to find fruit that way too. Or find more commonly dung, I think, in around animals, but I don't know if that's 100% true. We're still working on that theory. This time I definitely say it's not true, but next time it might be true. Anyways, so the goal is I'm going to go ahead and build my strength up, because not all weapons that are melee build strength, some build agility. Agility is very good for shooting, but I want to get my strength up to kind of allow me to have a greater capacity for carrying. You can see here I'm going to get some strength from this fight for sure. But you know, the goal is I'm going to be switching weapons and kind of picking the one I want. As you saw in a previous hunt, I ended up completing the stage 3, which gave me like 400 points and like short blades and I forget what the other one was, long blades. So I ended up getting skills in blades, though I've never used them. And one of the first weapons you can buy off of the TT is a 2-handed sword, which tends to be a very good one, but you go through it so quickly that the 15 PED seems like it's just melting away. I think part of the reason why that is because people's heavy weapon skill is not very high. Well, my heavy weapon skill due to the maze hammer will be high. And as I start to get a little higher with the maze hammer and I put some extenders on it, then the 5 PED will become more like 5 points, well, it'd be, I don't know, I guess 5 PED, 20% of 5 PED, if you're able to get it, that would be, you turn into 6 PED, and then if you did it again, I assume it'd be 7 PED. So if you were to get this to like level 7, it'd be a 10 PED hammer instead of a 5 PED hammer, and then maybe that might be worth doing. Of course, then you probably want to have some amplifiers in there, which then lowers the amount of durability you have, if this all works the way I think it does. And I'm not even 100% sure they have extenders for melee weapons. I haven't got a weapon that's here yet. I'm basing this off of what I've read and seen out there, and you know, I'll learn more about that, I guess, when I get there. I also am interested to find out how this weapon tiers, and is it the same as the Bukin? Are all level 1s the same, or are they wildly different? Based upon maybe their durability, or is it more about the fact that it's melee versus range versus armor? There's a lot of, I guess you could say, factors I'm interested in. And you know, some of this I could probably be found through reading and that type of stuff, but then a lot of the stuff you read is old and it's changed and it's not how it is now. And I kind of want to avoid having that problem too. So yeah, you know, this video is kind of talking about the melee weapon versus the Bukin. When I get my Bukin adjusted, it's going to change everything I can hunt, and it may completely shut the door on the maze hammer. But then when I get far enough along with the maze hammer that I'm able to get into other weapons, maybe that will maybe rethink things and put things back in perspective. One of the things I don't like about doing just straight melee is when you pull, you often get more than one, especially when they're closely matched. Here I ended up getting like 4 of them, and that's not optimal. These guys are easy to kill, and that's great, but if these guys were my level or a little below, 4 of them certainly would kill me. So, something to think about. Okay guys, so I want to ask a couple questions real quick. If you made it this far into the video, I want to say thank you, and I want to encourage you to subscribe. Obviously you like my content, or at least hit the thumbs up, say something below, and I'll interact back with you if it's a conversation you can have any sort of interaction with. And that kind of goes into what I'm talking about here. So one of the things I'm wondering is, what's the best low-level, fairly easy attainable weapon you can get? What I mean by that is, give me a creature to hunt that's killable, and then say this guy drops the best weapon, and you know, that kind of gives me like a nice goal to aim towards. And maybe if it's something I can do and I'm in the area, that might be a thing to do. Or maybe I can, if it's within the right price range, or if it's maybe the best, more fruit. It's a crazy day for fruit. So maybe it's not the best, most efficient weapon or whatever. Maybe it is the best PED per efficiency type of thing that you can find. And if that's the case, that could be really cool too. So just let me know down below what you think on that. On the same notion, what's the best scope to get? You know, like, I've got a scope. I've got a blueprint for a scope at least. This scope I'm going to go ahead and make. It's a 34 PED scope. It's going to add some decay to my weapon. It's a 60% efficiency, which is going to raise the efficiency of my Bukin a little bit, which is great. But the question is, does it double my decay, or does it have its own decay? Or is there certain scopes that are better? Because, well, I guess that question answers itself, because 34 probably has so many shots, probably has its own decay factor. But maybe there's, which would be the efficiency. Maybe there's a high efficiency that has a super high amount for the scope. That means that each shot is actually more decay, which would be at higher efficiency, which then would be even better. Or all scopes 60%. I think all the ones I've seen. So let me go ahead and take a moment here to talk about some of the changes I'm doing around this thing. You've noticed this cord hanging back here, and some of you've seen it over there, like a green screen and that type of stuff. I kind of try to put some stuff together for basically free, and some of the stuff didn't work. So I have, let's see if I can get this without making too much of an issue. So I have these light diffusion panels, and they're fairly inexpensive. And I had some of them around, and I've tried to use this as a way to create like bracing for like my lights and that type of stuff. And I tried to hang some acoustic tiles up on the ceiling with regular household hooks and that type of stuff. And I've tried to do the shower curtain thing with that, and what I've come to find out is I'm probably going to have to invest a little bit to get this stuff to work the way I want it to, and for me to really make a meaningful investment into what I'm doing. So the stuff I'm doing, you know, with the lights and that type of stuff is working to a degree, but it's almost so much more work, and for a few dollars of saving. I think smart, frugal spending will allow me to do this for a better price. So I've kind of made a big step, and I've talked a little bit about, you know, taking a little different step in the business and maybe starting my own website and that type of thing. And I'm doing those things, and I now have my EIN for a Gamers Oasis, and I'm going to make it into a website, and I'm going to go ahead and do a few other things like that. But some of the stuff I've done is I've set aside like a one-time gift that's going to be a loan to the business, which the business isn't going to be anything you see necessarily on YouTube, but maybe whenever I get to where I'm able to make ads and that type of stuff, I'll pay back the loan through the ads, and that will be the way. It won't be anything you guys ever see or get affected by, I hope. But I'm going to be painting miniatures and selling it, and that will also, attribute to this, and it'll attribute to further growth and that type of stuff, and making better videos and whatnot, and having a better setup, maybe better computers and whatnot in the future. We'll see. Anyways, I don't know what that's going to bring in the long future. But the basic thought is that I want to have like some animations. So if I'm going to be going there and checking that out. I want to have some audio that I can play that's made into stuff. And I've kind of bought some music and made it royalty free, or so I have the rights to play it. And you saw that in my Milo mission video. And I don't necessarily want to do more of that, but while I'm talking here, having something in the background that was kind of like ambient music to go along with it, that was maybe set the mood or tone or that type of thing, I think would be nice. Especially when I'm doing longer streams and that type of stuff. And that's kind of what I'm hoping. So if you're watching my live stream, it's not just me sitting there painting. You're sitting there watching me paint while I have an ambient track that's like 2 hours long on loop in the background. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. And I want to eventually sometime run some D&D games. D&D games are pretty close to my being. I've done it for most of my life, and I like to record them and then either do like talk about them afterwards, or actually show them, or maybe show a representation of it with like either some sort of doodly thing, or maybe some sort of flash animation type thing. It's kind of, I don't know. If I only do one of those every 3 months and I get 4 done a year, and they're very successful and liked and that type of thing, and it's just once in the blue moon, but it's a whole lot of hours, like let's say 200 hours of labor to get it, but so I get one every 4 months done, but it comes out, maybe that's a better way of doing it, quality over quantity. So I want to continue with the Entropy Universe with the weekly videos, but my Wednesday videos might be different every now and then. Maybe something about D&D, maybe something about a different game, and that type of thing. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right at this moment. And we'll go from there. I don't know what it's going to mean in the future. I hope that we continue down this road, and well, to be honest, my real goal is that I continue playing Entropy Universe all the way up into me getting a store, and to me basically declaring I won, if that makes sense. I consider winning, having your own land area, having your own store, having those type of things, going out and killing the creatures you want, not necessarily looking at your PED book to know whether or not you can do something, because you're so broke and you're so watching your pennies. Knowing what I'm doing is so solid, I don't have to keep track of my win-loss. I can just trust in the system that I'm maybe not this fight, but I'm going to come out profitable or whatever. And if I'm not, then I know a way to get me back out from hitting rock bottom, per se. It was rock bottom as you can at those levels. I think if you're foolish, you can hit rock bottom pretty hard. You end up selling a bunch of everything to get, or continue living the lifestyle you can't afford. But I think that we're going to do better in that. And I hope that people can watch my video and then they get inspired to go out and do their own thing and do this for themselves. And if they want, and I encourage people to want to spend a few dollars, maybe $10 a month, just to get the extra 100 PED, get the ball rolling a little faster, still be frugal with your coin, still doing a good job that way, but dropping that money in there so you get the things you want sooner. You'll pass me for sure, but you never know how long that might take. I've got a decent head start. I certainly have dropped 100 PED a couple times on hunts by now, and I got some hunts coming up here in the near future that are going to be pretty substantial. Not all my hunts are going to be 15 bed hunts, and I frankly didn't foresee that coming. I really didn't see that. I really saw me doing 5, 10 bed hunts for a very long time when I was in Arcadia Planet. Arcadia Moon has really opened up a lot of things. So it's not going to be any secret to anyone, I think, but I am going to be buying Arcadia Moon deeds because I spend so much time here and I'm promoting it so much. I hope that that then becomes not necessarily the next Calypso, but maybe something of value that would allow me to do something in the future. But we're going to start getting to that a little bit, probably buying it deed by deed as time goes along, because I'm going to set some money aside for that. But you know, that's the sort of the long-term goal of what I'm doing here. Is I would love for this to become profitable and for me to stop having the stress of my work and to spend time with my family and be able to maintain my YouTube channel commitment and whatnot. Right now, this puts a lot of stress on. If you don't know, I put 2 videos out a week. I try and post on Instagram and try and post on Facebook and that type of stuff. I work over 40 hours a week at my normal job. And yes, I'm the supervisor on the floor, but I have bosses and they have expectations and they don't always articulate it to me in a way that I would articulate to myself. So each person is different. So, you know, I'm sure that my people sometimes would. So how this is going to work is I'm going to be able to have to find a way to cut back on what I'm doing, how much time it takes, and that type of stuff. I have to find a way to make my stuff more efficient. Part of that is I'm finding a better and better routine. I'm trying to get my sleep schedule right, so I can get up and do a little bit before work, come back, have a routine to get my 20-minute Milo run in, then do a little bit of video, whatever, or fruit hunting or whatever, or you know, whatever. And then on the days that I'm off, I try and get that set up so where I do more videos than I need for the next week, so that I'm slowly working ahead and getting a little bit ahead, so that if I want to do a special project or a passion project or something of that nature, then that would, you know, makes you happy. Then I have time to do that, and it doesn't take away or put the rest of the stuff I'm trying to do at risk. So, yeah, I do things a little bit, you know, where I'm a little bit lagged behind, but understand the reason why I'm doing that is not because I'm trying to be lazy or whatever. I'm trying to get more done than what I need to, and the best way to be consistent with that is to have more than what you need at the moment. That gives you time to be able to do the other things that you really find fun and that you want to share with people. Or maybe it's not even for you, maybe it's just for me, but maybe that moment of doing that type of thing keeps me doing it, so that 3 years from now I'm still making Entropia Universe videos. And that's the goal. No matter what happens, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm playing with, or if I've got my own D&D stream, or I'm the next, you know, Critical Role, probably not. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, still be doing Entropia Universe videos. I'm not going to get too big for Entropia because I enjoy Entropia. I still have long-term plans in Entropia. I still want to win Entropia. I didn't get into this game for the short term. I got into it for the long term. I believe that this game's going to be around for a while. I believe that it could have an explosion depending on what happens in the future. You know, if parts of this or aspects of this game goes mobile, that could mean a whole bunch of different things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, how can I become more efficient? How can I do 130% and do that routinely? Well, I can't. Obviously, I'm going to be probably running at 70 to 90%, and I think that's pretty standard for most people. Occasionally, you'll top out, you know, whatever your top out is. But you know, I'm going to be doing that, so I'm going to have to find a way to get other people doing some stuff. So prior to this, I kind of did all my own artwork, my own intros. I borrowed art or graphics from the game I was playing to try and, you know, because I figured they wouldn't mind that for their game to be used for in their game. And a video on their game. But you know, some of the stuff, especially also my early stuff, like I went down to the zoo, I took a picture of some sort of crane, stork looking thing, and it like roared at me or whatever, and I thought that's kind of cool, and I went and then added like 5 different filters, and I added like 10 different animals with the roar, so it sounded like inhuman type of thing, and that was a very cheesy, poorly done, granulated video because it had like 5 different filters on it, one of which was black and white. So, you know, someday maybe I'll play that so you can see that. But, you know, that's the type of stuff that I'm going to try and get to other people through the Fiverr, through the slight upgrades, through maybe hiring an artist to do some stuff. And I'm kind of holding off on doing like my Founders of D&D series because I want artists to be able to do that work. And with this money I'm investing, I'm hoping to get that art done. So hopefully we'll see some more videos with that coming up here in the future. Anyways, let's get back to Entropia. My hunt's done. It looks like I lost quite a bit of money in this one. We'll take a look at the final card here. Let's see here. Nope, I actually came out pretty good, less than a PED down, so that's not bad. Must be all the other stuff that made it worth it. This was a 15 PED hunt. I got quite a few skills, almost 350. I got 350 skills. That's really good. So this is definitely something I could continue doing for as long as I want to spend 5 PED at a time to repair my weapon until I find something better. And it's continued to build my strength, which is very important, going back to the originating portion of this video. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more like this, let me know down below. If there's parts of this video you want me to talk more about in future videos, let me know down below, and I'll try and include that in future videos. So thank you and have a great day, and I appreciate all that you guys do to keep her in that